Hey everybody, before we get started this week, I have huge news. She actually did it. We're pleased to announce that Beatrice Jin, top-ranked women's competitor in North America and longtime BJJ Mental Models premium community member, has published her first ever course with us, exclusive to BJJ Mental Models. It's called Stop Being Nice. It's a 3-part audio series designed to solve real mindset problems that regular folks experience in jiu-jitsu. If you struggle to be aggressive and competitive in jiu-jitsu, you'll find the solutions here. If you're already a BJJ Mental Models premium subscriber, you've already got access. And if you are not, good news, you can get it now and get your first week free. Go to bjjmentalmodels.com and check it out today. Hey everybody, welcome to BJJ Mental Models. I am Steve Kwan, and BJJ Mental Models is your guide to a conceptual and intelligent jiu-jitsu approach. And in this mini episode, we're going to dig into the world of physics again. We're going to talk about inertia. First, I'll explain what the concept means, and then we'll talk about how it relates to jiu-jitsu. Inertia teaches us that objects are resistant to changes in velocity. So if an object is not moving, it's going to take extra effort to get it moving. If an object is moving, it's going to take extra effort to slow it down. Obviously, this is very relevant to jiu-jitsu. I myself recall attempting sweeps on a bigger, stronger opponent and just finding them incredibly hard to move. Trying to scissor sweep them would be like trying to scissor sweep a mountain. And I realize now in retrospect, it's because of inertia. I was attacking a move while they were at rest, and getting them moving is going to take extra effort. So what I should have done is get them moving first and then attempt the sweep. There's a separate concept specifically about this in the world of martial arts. We call it kazushi, the idea of breaking balance. This often implies getting a person off base, and you do this much of the time when they are in motion. So if someone is at rest, attempting to displace them is going to be challenging. One of the things you need to focus on is getting them moving. I once trained judo with a black belt who told me that before you even think about what technique you're going to do, you need to focus on creating their movement. Too often, beginners have a technique in mind that they want to do, and they just try to rehearse the steps and make it happen. But without the proper setup, if they are in full base and they're not moving, it's going to be hard to just do a technique. That's where kazushi comes into play. You push, you pull, you get the person in motion so that as they're moving, you have the ability to take away their base and redirect that movement. That's so much the foundation of a lot of martial arts, is how do we redirect someone's motion? And you can only do that if there's already motion happening. The hack here, especially for beginners, is to think about keeping your opponent in motion. And I almost suggest you do this before you even worry about any techniques. Rather than building this game plan in your head of these techniques that you want to do, think instead about the ways that you'll get kazushi. How are you going to off-balance the person so that they have to stay in motion and they have to adjust? Beyond just inertia, by creating motion, this also means that your opponent is going to create openings. If your opponent has the luxury of being in a resting position, they can take whatever body positioning they feel will give them the biggest advantage. If you get them moving, now they're going to have to start adjusting their base. And as they do that, arms and legs will move out of position. And that creates the ability for you to either capture one of those limbs or move your body into a position to do something you want to do. Inertia isn't just about actively manipulating your opponent. It's also about encouraging your opponent to get moving themselves. You may have heard the classic martial arts saying, if you can't move them, move yourself. That's what this is talking about. If you move yourself, you force your opponent to react to you, and that means they have to move. By doing that, by reacting to you, they are creating motion, and that may create openings. Even from the bottom, you can do this. If you are pinned in bottom side control, if you're just sitting there, you're a stable platform that your opponent can put their weight on top of. If you start moving, even if they're small movements, as long as they are fluid, your opponent has to move to adjust. And that means they can't settle their weight on top of you. This is like how with a cement mixer. Once the cement mixer stops moving, the cement settles. If you are on the bottom, you don't want to let your opponent settle on top of you. You want to be in some degree of constant motion so that they are forced to always adapt. So that's the idea of inertia. It's a great concept to think about. if your moves just aren't working because they just don't seem to budge, that might mean that inertia is at play, and you should focus on getting them moving first and foremost. I hope this was helpful. We talk about these kinds of concepts a lot at BJJ Mental Models. You can get more like this at BJJMentalModels.com. That's where you'll find more mini episodes like this, plus long-form, full-length podcast episodes, as well as the BJJ Mental Models newsletter. And if you haven't already done so, please consider leveling up with us and joining BJJ Mental Models Premium, the world's largest audio library of jiu-jitsu masterclasses. All of that is at BJJMentalModels.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.